Hi, welcome back to Anime Recaps. Today, I will be explaining the movie Ninja Scroll. The vagabond and ex-Yamashiro ninja, Jubi crosses a bridge, but is ambushed by a rival ninja group for undercutting them on his last job. He quickly dispatches them while eating a rice ball. Now half-naked, the only conscious attacker is baffled by how low he charged the client given his skill level. They didn't have the money, so he considered them. While he exits the bridge, a nasty storm starts to brew. As the storm intensifies, 8 ominous riders make their way to a cliff to observe something. Coincidentally, Shimoda village has been devastated by some sort of plague. It has killed all the residents except for a young woman. She zombie walks her way to a neighboring village to inform them of the mass death. She seems to be controlled by a mysterious figure in the shadows. After delivering the message, plus a healthy dose of virus, she passes out and dies. There is some foul play here. Fearing for their lives, the surrounding villages evacuate. Back at the Mochizuki clan's estate, Hanza reports to Sakaki, the clan's chamberlain, about a sighting of the ominous rides near Shimoda the night before the outbreak. He orders Hanza and the rest of the Koga team to investigate. They gather to discuss the plan but are interrupted by the kunoichi, Kajiro. She expresses her intention to join the mission. Hanza is against the idea since she is the poison tester for their lord. He's awake currently, so she wants to resume her ninja duties. Hanza reluctantly agrees. The team head out, but are massacred by Tessai and Urimaru before they reach the village. Hanza is gravely injured but instructs Kajiro to go report the situation to Sakai. As she tries to escape, Tessai captures her. He takes her back to their camp and gets a bit too touchy. Pretending to be lost, Jubi interrupts, annoying the giant. He throws a knife at his eye, creating an opening for both him and Kajiro to escape. Now beyond annoyed, Tessai prepares to make chase, but Urimaru orders him to stand down. Dakwana Tokugawa spy watches as he does the old wise guy beard stroke. Now out of danger, the two introduce themselves. Kajiro thanks her rescuer as they both part ways. When she is finally alone, she releases her strong facade, breaking down crying. She reports the massacre back to the chamberlain. He commands her to go back to the village solo to gather information before he commits more men. Meanwhile, Tessai tracks down Jubi. A melee breaks out between the two. The brute has the supernatural ability to harden his body, rendering Jubi's attacks ineffective. As the battle rages on, his rock-hard body starts to crumble. The vagabond takes advantage and cuts him, allowing his own blade to finish him off. Frantic, Tessai tries to crush the ninja's face in an attempt to also bring him down, but he breaks free. Impressed with his swordsmanship, Dakwan tries to recruit him, but Jubi is not interested. The old spy informs him that Tessai was a member of an infamous ninja team named the 8 Devils of Kimen. With a member dead, they will surely come after him. Urimaru updates a fellow member of the Devils, Genma, of their progress. Zakuro, who is also a member, professes her love for Urimaru while trying to seduce him. He shuts the nonsense rapid, warning her, and dismisses her to stand guard. Benisata, one of Tessai's comrades, inspects the aftermath of the fight. She finds that he got an impression of Jubi's face when he grabbed him. She utilizes this to track him to a hot spring where he's tending to his injuries. She uses her snake abilities to bewitch him. Whilst preparing to deal the final bite, a random shuriken hits Jubi, making him gain his senses. He swiftly counters the attack, apprehending Benisato, but she escapes by shedding her skin. He passes the shuriken back to Dakwan since he threw it. The spy continues his information dump, alerting Jubi that 8 devils work for the Shogun of the Dark. He wishes to rebuild the house of Toyotomi, the ex-ruler of Japan. He attempts to recruit Jubi again, but this time he offers to pay 100 gold pieces for his service. The devils killed everyone else in his party, so he's desperate for strong assistance. Jubi is still not moved to join. Left with no other option, he reveals that he poisoned the shuriken, which will kill him soon. He's the only one that knows the antidote. He promises to give him the antidote plus the 100 gold pieces when the job is done. Jubi is forced, becomes a party member. As they say, if you can't get them to join, poison them. They proceed to their objective by boat. Jubi learns that the leader of the devils is Hinuro Genma. He was also the former Yamashiro ninja leader, Jubi's ex-boss. 5 years earlier they found their clan's secret gold mine. Genma ordered his team members to kill each other to cover it up. Jubi was forced to kill his comrades to survive. Outraged, he took revenge by killing his team leader, so is staggered that he is still alive. Genma has mastered the technique of reincarnation by controlling his body down to the tiniest bone. Once they land ashore, a thick fog separates them. Shirjima and Benisato capitalize by launching an attack. Kajiro repays her debt, saving Jubi. She's bitten but apprehends Benisato. Before she can be questioned, she is killed by Urimaru from afar due to her consistent failure. Jubi tries to suck the poison from Kajiro's leg but gets a knee to the face. Her body is infused with deadly toxins, so she is immune to it. Anyone that kisses her or has relations with her dies. That is why Jubi was able to kill Tezai. Dakwon persuades Kajiro to join them since they have a common enemy. The ragtag ninja team finally make it to Shimoda village. Upon investigation, they discover the villagers were poisoned. The epidemic was used as a cover to keep people away. Mashizo, a member of the Devils, sends a swarm of killer hornets to silence the trio. Kajiro keeps the hornets at bay while Jubi finds and kills Mashizo. With the Devils' attention now on the ninja, Dakwon goes ahead leading them as a duo. The poison is really starting to spread in Jubi's system. They make their way to high ground to get a better look of the area. They spot Hansa heading to the end of a cliff. Kajiro rushes to her comrade only to realize he has been mutilated. Jubi notices Zakuro setting off a charge. He tackles Kajiro as Hansa explodes. The duo narrowly escape as they pull themselves from the cliff. Mojuro waits for them at the top and challenges Jubi to a duel. Though blind, Mojuro is very skillful, but he is beaten by the vagabond. Things intensifies between Jubi and Kajiro as they have a little squabble. From the high ground, they notice a ship that wrecked during the storm. The cargo on board was so sensitive that they killed the people in the village to prevent information from getting out. Exhausted, Kajiro faints. They get some rest before following some tracks to the Kashima harbor. Offshore, ninjas of the Dark Shogun prepare to make their move. At Kashima, the trio reunite, but the town is empty due to the fake epidemic. Dakwon reveals that the precious cargo is in fact gold from the secret Yamashiro clan's mine, and it was on its way to the Shogun of the Dark. That amount of gold would make them powerful enough to topple the current government, sending the country into a civil war. As they discuss, Shirjima mounts a surprise attack. Kajiro quickly sends this information back to Sakaki by bird. Jubi manages to injure Shirjima, forcing him to flee. He pursues to finish him off. Meanwhile, Kajiro confronts Dakwon about the poison he used on Jubi. She has fallen in love with him. Seeing this, the old spy tells her that she must have relations with him to counter the poison. Shirjima uses a fox as a decoy to lure Jubi away. He doubles back to kidnap Kajiro. Against Dakwon's advice, Jubi makes his way to rescue his new friend. The kidnapper uses some ninjutsu to manipulate Kajiro to attack Jubi, but it's released when he's killed. She is confused as to why he came, knowing it was a trap. Moved by this, she makes Jubi aware that the only way he can be cured is to have relations with her. She offers herself, but being a gentleman, he only embraces her before leaving. At the port, Dakwon and Jubi watch as the Dark Shogun's men start loading the gold into the ship like an army of ants. There are too many of them, so they hatch a plan to sink the ship. Cupid over here asks if he did the deed with Kajiro to save his life. He throws him away like trash, telling him to get into position. Thinking that Sakaki has rallied men based on her report, Kajiro exposes herself to meet them. She is stabbed by Genma in disguise. He killed Sakaki and his men to impersonate them. Jubi witnesses everything and in a fit of rage cuts his way through a stupid number of enemies. Urimaru pleads with Genma to give him the honor of killing Jubi, to which he agrees to. He ambushes the ninja, although he's able to cut himself free before a rat rigged with gunpowder explodes. Unable to escape in time, the explosion kills Urimaru. It was set by Zakuro, intended for Urimaru as payment for rejecting her advances. With all the gold on board, the leader of the Devils orders them to set sail. Meanwhile, Jubi finds Kajiro on death's bed. She confesses her love for him. They share a passionate kiss which cures his poisoning. She also gives her headband to him and dies, succumbing to her wounds. After laying her to rest, he boards the sailing ship by riding his horse into the ocean. On board, Genma reveals his true intention to use the gold to raise a ninja, to rule the country with terror rather than ally with the Shogun of the Dark. He then proceeds to kill the Shogun's representative. Below deck, the ragtag duo douse Sakuro in flammable oil and set her on fire, which causes a huge explosion. As everyone jumps overboard, Genma and Jubi engage in a brutal fight. Due to his extraordinary healing, Jubi can only stop Genma by cutting him into the molten gold encasing him. He sinks to the bottom of the sea along with the ship. With a civil war averted, Dakwon thanks his partner. Jubi resumes his vagabond lifestyle, with Kajiro's headband tied around his sword's hilt as a memento.